Hello and welcome to the show. We are here today on Forza Horizon 5 with quite possibly my favourite motorsport I've ever come up with. This is the River Run. Now, we ran this on Horizon 4 and it was a huge amount of fun. Complete and utter chaos, but amazing fun. The aim is simple. We take big off-road racing trucks, or not necessarily initially designed for racing, but massive off-road trucks, and race them through a river. We're not allowed to get out of the river. We have to keep the vehicles in them, and we've got a much more exciting piece of scenery going for this game. We're going to give it a try. I'm in the first heat for this. It's a 1v1 knockout tournament. There will be a spanner final, but I'm hoping my Nissan Raid truck is going to be good here. We're up against a 6x6, which is a little bit of an unknown quantity in some ways. It has got more wheels than me, probably more power than the Nissan. It's much heavier, maybe more top-heavy as well. And top-heavy is bad around here because, well, potential for falling over, as we are going to see, is pretty great. The Nissan is a little bit more agile, perhaps, than the Merc, but the Merc's got the power. So you kind of want to keep two wheels in the river at all times. Mercedes has a very wonky flight there. You want to keep two wheels in the river, but you want to not be in as shallower water as possible. Deep water is bad for your speed. Oh, I jumped across the dirt there a little bit, so we will lift off slightly. Although the Merc got in trouble through the next section. We're going to go side by side. I don't want to have to fight it across the rocks. We're still side by side as we head up the next waterfall part. Oh, it's going to get narrow down here. I didn't know if there were rocks on the inside behind those trees. I wasn't sure, so we had a little bit of a lift. Oh, Mercedes has got into trouble on the next section. This is where it gets quite tight through here. We are into the lead, but Mercedes is fighting back. We're into the deep water in the middle section there, not where I wanted to be with the Nissan. Come on, Nissan, jump up this next part. We do the double over there, but end up in the back of a Mercedes. Don't worry, though, the course gets even more crazy as the route goes on. Now, we're allowed out of the river here to get across. Oh, no! We've rolled! The Nissan's gone over. It's landed on its wheels, though. It will be able to carry on. No lengthy reset procedure. Now we've got to climb the waterfall. This is the problem part for some vehicles. Can the Nissan do it? It's hit quite hard. The Mercedes has got stuck. And we've been twisted trying to avoid it. Come on, Nissan, you're lighter than the Merc. We're going to do it. Oh, we're up the waterfall. Now, across this kind of rock section, it looks nasty. It's nastier looking than it actually is to drive. We jump. Now we just got a couple more jumps ahead towards the finish line. Avoid the rocks here. Don't flip it away now, like that on the landing. Where is that Merc? It's too far back, I think. Find some pace in the Nissan. It's gonna take victory in the first round, the first heat. The Nissan Raid is through. Oh, we very nearly didn't get that. That was an amazing race. That was a wonderful race. Unlucky for Amy there with the climb up the waterfall. I'm surprised the Mercedes got going. It got up the initial bit. It's always they get stuck on the initial bit. It got up the first part and then just died on the climb. I'm not quite sure what caused that one. The Nissan, though, takes victory. We are through to the next round. We head into the second heat of this. Dangerman driving the LM002. Speedy's driving the Jeep. Or is it the Bertie Design Wrangler thing? Big ground clearance in the Jeep. That's good, but big ground clearance can sometimes lead to a slight more tendency to fall over. The Lamborghini, I mean, it's still a big off-road vehicle. We've got the size of the tyres on these vehicles. Lamborghini like to have quite a lot of power. It's a fairly heavy vehicle. I mean, they both are. Everything in this is going to be pretty heavy. The Jeep basically wheeling off of the start line here as we head towards the first jump. The Lamborghini has the lead, is a little bit wide. The Jeep is up on two wheels. Big air time. Jeep gets a good landing. They're both deep into the next corner. Up the hill they head. A little bit wonky from both of them. Still close together. Lamborghini's got good straight line speed. Mind the rock. Didn't mind the rock well enough. It's off into the trees. Now it can rejoin. It will jump back into the river. It's lost some time here. Runs wide through that section. Huge airtime from the Jeep. The Jeep jumped the corner, so the Lamborghini sort of thought it would go for it as well. I mean, I guess it sort of evened itself out in all of that one. I think the Jeep tried to jump the corner from the river. It's not really, I don't really think you can go far enough. The Lamborghini's definitely got the pace in a straight line here. The Lamborghini is very, very quick. It goes for the lead, but it's going to overshoot the next corner. The Jeep tries to fight back on the inside, almost rolls it in doing that. Next sort of switchback section. I think the Jeep's got the Lamborghini's got the top end. The Jeep might be a little bit better composed in some of these sections. Maybe not a surprise. The Jeep like to have a little bit more control. Jeep almost gets pushed onto the bank there. They are close together as we head past the waterfall. Jeep up onto its side. Lamborghini up onto its side. Jeep is carefully across there. Jeep's got a better line through the rocks. It lands on the bonnet of the LMO02. They both get away with it. They're still fighting. The Lamborghini's got nosedived into the ground across a rock. Now it'll come down to, can the Jeep climb the waterfall cleanly? Where is that Lamborghini? There it is. It's got going again. The Jeep is bouncing and bouncing and climbing well up here. Here comes the Lamborghini. It's a little bit sluggish at the bottom, but it is on the go. It is on the climb. The Jeep, though, as long as it doesn't roll, the Jeep is up across the top here. It should be good to go as we head around this next couple of corners. Next couple of corners, next couple of jumps. It tries to go for a double, almost gets itself in trouble there for the Jeep. It is going to cross the line. The Jeep will claim victory. It did attack the sort of festival site. Where is the Lamborghini? There it is. It put up a hell of a fight. It's very quick down the straight, but in the end, it got a little bit unlucky with its positioning and it struggled with the waterfall towards the end there. Big airtime for the Lamborghini. The Jeep, that is through to the next round. We head into the next round. Ewan driving the buggy is up against Blakey with the GMC. Lots of ride height on the GMC. Potential to be very quick, but this depends on if it doesn't fall over. It might well fall over a lot. So we will see how this one all pans out. The GMC's looked very, very fast for this, but anything can happen on the river run. We are off and underway. It's a very even start. Blakey might want to lift and not go into the rocks. Instead, side by side, Ewan hit the outside rock. They climb up the next waterfall. It's almost a backflip for the GMC. It bounces and does a wheelie, gets away with it. Ewan, I mean, Ewan's going to lift out the throttle there. You can't really gain a position for an overtake there. It was very much out of the river. Big airtime next. Ewan again going for a front flip in all of this. However, they're almost side by side coming out the next jump. The GMC's out wide. Gets a good landing though. Can bounce and twist it through there. We climb up this next little waterfall, if you like, next little bumpy section. The buggy's fallen over in the weirdest way we've seen yet. Normally, we expect to see vehicles fall over on the rocks. That is commonplace. Fall over on the landings of the jumps and all of that sort of thing. We don't expect to see them fall over randomly while going around a corner. Not in this race. Jelly cars, of course, but not here. Ewan has tumbled over, and this gives Blakey a really, really good chance here. If Blakey gets everything right, doesn't make any mistakes with the GMC, things should be okay. But I mean, there's always rocks to catch you out around here as we head past the first waterfall. It's a little bit of a long jump for the GMC. It's nicely enough done down there, though. Bounces around a little bit awkwardly, but does get the landing. Clips a rock on the way past there, but it's no rolls for the GMC. We're heading up the waterfall now. It hits a little bit on the nose. Hits a little bit there. We climb up this section. I can't see the buggy at the moment. He's gonna rely on a miracle for it to not be Blakey that goes through. We bounce and get big airtime through the next section. More climbing for the Jimmy here as we head towards the finish line. The GMC is going to be through. I mean, we were expecting this to be fast. It was a close race up until the buggy fell over, and I have a feeling Ewan may well have been pushing it a little too hard trying to catch up, and it's probably fallen over a couple of other times along the way. The GMC is taking it easy here across the finish line. There we go. The GMC is through to the next round. There, oh, the buggy, there we go. There is the buggy. I mean, the GMC slowed down right at the end. The buggy is into the Spanner final. It put on a good show for a little while, but just not quite fast enough. Blakey is through to the next round. So, after some good racing in the heat so far, hopefully it shall continue with our next round. We have Gliska driving the Ford Raptor, and we have Aaron in the Arctic Trucks Hilux that has some massive tyres. It also says Toyota on the back, which is spot on, really. The size of the tyres on the Toyota. I mean, the Ford's tyres are very big. That's ridiculous. Whether that's good or not in terms of racing in a river, I'm not sure, but I'm going to go with possibly if it doesn't fall over a million times along the course of the run, because, well, we've seen what it's like here. things fall over. We are off and underway. Good start for Gliska with the Ford. It'll take an early lead, but you don't want to jump too far. Aaron's going to be sneaky, tries to send it up the inside, and that's why the tight line's not always so good through there. Toyota goes for a roll early on. It's a decent recovery, though. It fell over, but got back going again, and you can still win from having had a roll, because if you have a roll that early on, there's plenty of time to make up for mistakes. There's plenty of time for things to go wrong for the Ford here as we head up through the next jumps. Where is that Toyota? And the thing is, when you fall to second, it's kind of a go for broke at this point. There's no real caution. Maybe a little too far on the jump there might have happened as we head through this next section. Where is that Ford? Yeah, you kind of got to just launch the car at the course. Throw caution to the wind because you've got to make up time somewhere in all of this. Gliska is running nicely through this next section. Just don't hit. You don't want to go too close to the apexes. And the thing is, you might lose a little bit of ultimate pace, but the rocks are often on what would be the apex to these corners. So you've got to be a little bit safe where you have a decent lead to the race. Gliska is neat enough up the next section. Where's that Arctic truck just bouncing in the background? Again, still going fairly well. Jump across in front of the waterfall. Oh, Gliska's spun. Gliska's spun on the way down. Aaron's got stuck. It's disaster for the Toyota. It would have had a really good opportunity to make up some ground there, but got stuck on a rock while Gliska went for a spin. It's carefully does it on the approach. The Ford's got stuck on the waterfall. Where is that Toyota? It's rolling into short. We can't see through the sort of mist. The Ford is having real trouble getting up the waterfall. Here comes the Arctic truck. The Arctic truck. There is some argy-bargy on the waterfall. Neither are going to get up at this rate. It looks like the Toyota has pushed the Ford up there. Now, the thing is, there is a secondary route up the waterfall. If the waterfall is blocked by a vehicle, there is another way up. It's a longer route. You have to drive into the waterfall itself and take a secondary path up, which is probably what Aaron would have wanted to do in that to avoid, I think, actually helped push the Ford up. The Raptor had some real trouble at the bottom of the waterfall. We saw it a little bit with the 6x6. If you get it wrong, you can get stuck at the bottom there. But Gliska is going to head up to the finish line. The Ford is through to the next round. The Toyota tried. Where has it gone? Has it actually climbed the waterfall? It can do it. There it is. Toyota had a torrid time on the waterfall. And up we go. Absolutely terrible time on the waterfall. Unlucky for Aaron there, and we're going to finish not quite with a roll, and it is a roll. It's a completed roll. Oh, hey, nicely landed. Oh dear. The Toyota, it started off bad with a roll. It didn't get much better. Oh, and it murdered the Jeep finish line. That was a good roll for the Jeep as well. Gliska's through to the next round. Aaron's into the Spanner final. On to our next heat. An interesting matchup here. We have got Longbow in the Rally Raid McCann thing. Actually, one of the smaller vehicles in some ways in this. Ollie is driving the Warthog, which is a brave choice. Could be really good. Big tyres on the Warthog as well. Yeah, could be very fast. I actually think I forgot to say at the start of this, all of these are running in A-Class. So, yeah, they're all A-Class vehicles. Everything's probably putting out between 700 and 1,000, maybe a little bit more horsepower. Really, so these are very, very powerful vehicles we've got running here, but they are going to be heavy. I mean, the ground clearance is the predominant thing. The Porsche is probably one of the lighter, as I said, one of the smaller vehicles. It's a good start from the Porsche in all of this, although it needs a front flip over this next section. Don't take too tight a line over the rocks there. We've already seen a couple of vehicles fall over. This is where it does get very, very twisty through here. You don't really want to jump too much on the inside there because you can get into a lot of trouble. Now, I don't know whether Longbow lifted to sort of give back any advantage gain from cutting slightly, or whether that Warthog is just a monster in a straight line. Either way, the Warthog had got the lead briefly, got itself into a little bit of trouble over a jump, and has relinquished that lead as we head over these next few bumps. Porsche will continue to lead, maybe extend the gap a little bit. When it gets to the straight sections, that's when I'd be worried about that Warthogs, or be scared of that Warthog straight line speed. It's quick, it's got good ground clearance. Good ground clearance is very important for carrying speed through the deeper sections of the river, basically. Although you don't want to carry too much speed up here, because it's really easy to overshoot this hairpin. We've already seen it a few times. Warthog's still in contention here. Porsche does have, they're not quite side by side through this section. Oh, Porsche gets a little bit awkward over that jump. Big airtime from the Warthog, although it lands poorly for the next part. We are across in front of first of the waterfalls here. Porsche jumps nicely, although it skims across the top of the rocks. It doesn't, it gets away. Doesn't skim across the second ones very nicely, but it does survive. Warthog much better across those rocks. Now, the McCann is lining up for the ascent. Will it get up the waterfall first time? It does. Lovely stuff from that Porsche. Really well climbed up there. The Warthog has got a little bit stuck. I've lost the McCann. There it is. The McCann had a really good climb and then got a little bit stuck through this rockier section. It's taken a slightly more difficult route through there. The left-hand side is a little tougher for the vehicles. They'll climb it, but it tends to be a little bit slower. Now all Longbow has to do is not fall over, really, with that Porsche as we head towards the finish line. I haven't seen a Warthog. I think it might have got stuck on the waterfall. The Porsche is across the finish line. Longbow is into the next round. Where is the Warthog? Has it got up the waterfall? Has it got stuck? No, it has made it up the waterfall in the end. The Warthog put up a really good fight. It put up a really good fight up until the waterfall. Things were going pretty well for it. As it jumps and climbs through these next sections, it's going to be a run to the finish line. The Warthog is across and tries to go for a backflip. That's quite an impressive attempt at a backflip, really. There we go. Oh, and I've been disconnected, but the Porsche is through to the next round. We are on to our final heat, and it is the Battle of the Minis, although they're not really minis, are they, these two? We have got Rusky driving the Cooper Works buggy, and we have Impega driving the Raid, whatever, I can't remember the numbers that go with it. We've got the Countryman Raid thing. I have no idea what we're going to see from these two. What is going on there? What's in all that is spooky? We've found the Ghost Gallant. What is going on with the Ghost of Gallant past? Weird things are happening. Weird things are happening already. Let's get this race underway. I mean, Impega's car is just sat there spinning its wheels. We're off and underway, though. Good launch from both. Very, very close as we head up towards the first section. Rusky had to yield, but didn't yield soon enough. Good roll. Wonderful roll and carry on for the buggy there. It's a bit bouncy in the river, but that could have lost a lot more time. Don't go too close to the inside there. You might gain a little bit of time by almost, well, not quite cutting the corner, but taking as tight a line as you can, but the risk of hitting the rock is immense. The buggy is absolutely sent across the jump. It's carrying wonderful speed. Impega's going to have to try and get it across in time. Oh, Rusky hit the rocks. Didn't quite get that one right. The Countryman runs a little bit wide, though, as we head up towards this tight right-hander here. The Countryman will lead the way towards this next section. Now, who has got the better straight line speed is the question of the two minis. They're pretty even through all of this as we head towards our next little jump. You don't want to carry too much speed up here, though, because you'll miss the next corner. They're both very, very wide through there. The Countryman a little bit wider as we head towards the buggy's got more speed here. It's going for the aerial attack. It lands on the roof. It's been a front flip for the Countryman. The buggy's to the lead of the race. One of the more spectacular overtakes, although he's run far too deep into there and hit the waterfall quite hard. Lost a bunch of speed. Don't go across the rocks there. Oh, the buggy's in trouble. Somehow gets away with it. It's going to lost a bunch of time, though, to the Countryman as we head now towards the waterfall. Oh, the buggy's fallen over and then got hit on the way past. Can the Countryman climb the waterfall? That is the question. It does very nicely, actually. That's a wonderful climb from the Countryman as it gets up towards the top. The buggy's fallen over again. Oh, the buggy was in a prime position, but just little mistakes have caused it some grief. Up the rocky section we go for the Countryman. That is through. Don't hit the rock there. That could be a silly, unfortunate roll at the end for Impega. One more small bump to go. Barely a jump, really, for this course, and it's across the finish line. Countryman claims victory. Wonderful race. Brilliant race between these two. The Minis put on a hell of a show there. Unlucky for Rusky with that buggy, as that is across the finish line. Just one rock. One rock was all it took at the wrong place, and it went for a big flip. But tell you what, bonus points for managing to land on your opponent's roof and kind of getting an overtake somehow to work in all of that. Rusky's into the Spanner final. Impega's through. That was wonderful entertainment. Up next, we have got the wonderful Spanner final. This is going to be chaos because we've got the 6 vehicles that didn't make it through. The heats are going to go fight together to be the ultimate spanner. They don't progress or anything like that. It's just for complete carnage because, I mean, this many vehicles in this course is barely going to work. There's going to be a lot of vehicles falling over. Look out for the Lamborghini. I expect that to be fast. Certainly straight line speed is going to be good. The Toyota, if it doesn't fall over, might also be quick. We're off. We're underway. It's a very even start from everybody as we head towards the first jump. No one yields. Everyone's fallen over. The buggy's gone. The Lamborghini's gone. The Toyota's gone. The buggy's gone the alternate route. You're perfectly allowed to do that. Toyota leads the way. Well, they're not supposed to go across that bit of the grass. You were just taking all sorts of liberties. Toyota's fallen over. The buggy's had a wheelie moment. The G-Wagon, the 6x6, leads the way, although that's hit a rock and then found a tree, and the Warthog's done the same thing, and Ewan almost found the same tree. The Mini's got launched at the tree. Why does he want to go visit that tree? The tree's not a good thing. The Warthog leads the way. The buggies across the grass, across the dirt, is going to have to yield, I think, to the 6x6. Possibly. It's still behind the Warthog. Anyway, whether it got pushed there, I wasn't quite paying full attention in all of this. Ewan has taken some liberties with the river aspect of all of this. The buggy's got a good run down here, though. It has got some straight line speed. G-Wagon's faster than both of them. They're both across the inside, if you like. The G-Wagon basically pushed the Warthog, and Ewan got karma'd by a tree, so I think all is fair in river racing in this one. The G-Wagon is to the lead of the race. There's a little bit more liberties taken with track limits, considering there's 6 vehicles and they're all pushing each other around at this stage. Up past the waterfall we go. And there's all across the rocks. The Warthog's fallen over. The buggy's fallen over. The Lamborghini's on the charge down the hill. The buggy's fallen over again. The Mini's gone. The Lamborghini's going to hit a rock. The buggy's going to not fall over this time, but a Warthog drove over it. The 6x6 is climbing the hill, but slowly. Warthog smashed into the bottom of the waterfall and not done it. The Lamborghini is trying to climb up the hill. The Mini's got a bit of a move on. The buggy's trying to pass the Lamborghini. The G-Wagon really doesn't like this section. The G-Wagon could be in trouble from the LM002 if Danger Man gets that right, but doesn't. It hits the rock. It's got slowed down. The buggy's desperately trying to claw at the back of the Lamborghini now as we head over these next few jumps. Here comes the Mercedes. Is that 6x6 going to be able to do it? It looks like it. Lamborghini's run wide. The buggy's got lost. And it is the 6x6 that takes it. The Lamborghini second. Ewan made up their own course completely. I'm not sure if it should get a disqualification or not in that one, to be honest. The Mini's across the finish line as well. The Warthog held on in there for the fight for a while. It got in trouble at the bottom of the waterfall. And there's the toy boater. I imagine it fell over a lot somewhere as it crosses the finish line. That was the messiest race in the history of FailRace. It was glorious. I mean, it was a messy race in a lot of parts, but can't really dispute the top two. The 6x6 takes victory and much cleaner than everything else, and the Lamborghini, despite an abysmal start, was flying towards the end. Almost caught up. I think that Lamborghini was very unlucky. It's not very good in the sort of handling department. Monstrously fast down those straights. God dear. That was wonderfully stupid entertainment from everybody. Good. I say racing. No, I'm going to stick with good entertainment at that point. So, after the calamity that was the Spanner final, hopefully some closer racing, maybe. We'll see how it goes. We have got Longbow with that Porsche up against Blakey's GMC. No one wanted to be drawn against the GMC, basically. We're all terrified of it. It's quick, but it does look quite rolly, although it has, it bounces around quite a lot, but it does do a good job of at least staying on its wheels. We're off and underway. Good start from both of them. The GMC gets the initial launch. Longbow does, though, take the lead as we head into this first section. The McCann, that was such a good start. The McCann rolls, although gets a helping hand from the GMC, lands back on its wheels and can carry on. It was the best start, followed by the worst sort of first corner. And I say first corner because it's only kind of a first corner. The flight of the GMC is ridiculous through there. It is flying up towards this next jump. Longbow is chucking the McCann at the course and hit a rock and has gone very sideways through there. That is going to be a difficult one to recover from. However, it is not over. It is not over in this because, well, you make a mistake and it's very easy to fall over. So Blakey has got to not roll with the GMC. There is that Porsche in the background. We blast down towards this next section. Don't jump too far. Don't take too much speed over there. You've got to make this very, very tight section through here. The GMC is through all of that nicely. The the McCann, sorry, not too far behind. Over these next jumps go. The GMC will clear both of these in one go, no problem. My Nissan can, a little bit wide on the landing, But yeah, my Nissan can, but it's nowhere near as comfortable as the GMC. This is the bit that can cause trouble for vehicles. The GMC is nicely down all of there, avoids the rocks through that section. The Porsche is still in the background, it just chucks it down there. Waterfall section now. What is the GMC like? Oh, a little slow. Got a little bit caught, but oh no, it's twisted. The GMC's going the wrong way. The GMC's got lost on the waterfall. Can it recover? I don't think there's a path up there. The GMC bounced off it awkwardly. It's sunk. It's lost all the time. Longbow's taken the lead of the race, and unless the Porsche gets horrifically stuck on the way up here, and this is why you never give up on the river run, didn't expect to see that as a difficulty. A vehicle get stuck climbing it, sure, but the GMC just got twisted in going up it. It just lost grip, got twisted and turned around, and the Porsche is going to run, and the Porsche takes victory in semi-final 1. The Macan is in to the finale. That is desperately unlucky for Blakey with the GMC. There it is. It's in reverse. Oh, that thing is so fast. However, maybe it might even be the speed that was the undoing. It didn't really get a good sort of initial climb. It just had no momentum on the way up the waterfall, and that was just enough to put it in trouble. Desperately unlucky for Blakey with that GMC. However, that is the way the racing goes. Longbow takes victory. The Macan is into the final. We are on to the second of our semi-finals. Gliska driving the Raptor is up against Impega with that Mini Countryman. That's not lag as well, for the weird sort of wheel spinning. Apparently it's just a thing that Mini can do. Don't ask why, I don't really understand. However, we shall send them on their way. Just go warm up the tyres. I don't know, maybe like Mario Kart style start for the Mini. Whatever it is, we shall see if it works on this as they get off and underway. Good initial jump by the Countryman. The Ford is closing back in, though, as they take the first jump. Don't hit the inside rock. They're side by side through there, and the Ford is going to come out of that with the lead as we go through this next section. I mean, they were both just about as far off the course as each other through all of that. Now we've got a little bit of a sort of straight line. Mini does not want to be on the left-hand side there. You don't want to be on the right-hand side either. Oh, Gliska found a tree! It's a huge bounce off of a tree. It's monstrous crash for the Ford. I mean, we saw trouble for vehicles in the Spanner final over there. It's the risk you take of running side by side across these jumps. You don't want to yield, no. However, either one of them could have been in trouble across there. As it turned out, it was the Ford that got in trouble in that section. Either one of them could have backed out of it if they wanted to have a cleaner approach for that, and yeah, it was unlucky that Gliska ended up in that tree. But I mean, we saw last time out, things are anything but over on the river run. You never know what might happen as we jump up towards. Well, this double can be taken by some of the fast vehicles. The Mini doesn't really go for it. I don't think Mini quite's got the straight line speed of some of the other vehicles around here. We bounce past the waterfall. Oh, the Countryman got a little bit too wide through that section, and it's had an awful descent past here. The Raptor is throwing it across. Oh, the Raptor threw it across the grass. So we're allowed to cut the grass at that section. At the one point we're allowed to go out of the river. However, the Raptor hit a rock being on a wonky angle. The Mini's had a terrible initial start to the waterfall climb. It's gone very dark all of a sudden on this run as the Mini climbs to the top. We'll take a couple of jumps across this rocky section as long as it doesn't get stuck. I mean, the Raptor is closing. The Raptor has closed up nicely. The Mini's jumped across the top there. However, unless it goes for a roll across these rocks, which it doesn't, it's nicely enough done for the Countryman. We've only got... Oh, the Raptor's done a huge flip in the background. Good effort. The Mini is across the finish line. Mini is through to the final. A good run for Impega. Unlucky for Gliska. They were just fighting side by side, and no one wanted to yield, and it was sort of... Impega could have hit the rock on the left. In the end, unfortunately, it was for Gliska that clipped the rock on the right and just ended up with a tree in an awkward place for the Raptor. Tried to claw that ground back. Couldn't quite do it. However, there we go. Impega is in to the final. Now it's going to be my turn. On to the last of our semi-finals, and we have got me up against Speed Beast. The Nissan Raid truck is up against the Bertie Designer Jeep. I don't know what way this is going to go. I feel like I have a little bit more control. Perhaps. The Jeep, I think, will be quicker than me in a straight line. I do have some 930 horsepower in my Nissan, but it isn't the quickest down the straights. Yeah, I don't know what we're going to see from this one. If I can make it through, it will be a collection of sort of rally raid vehicles that are making it into the final. I've given the command to have them be ready for us over here. Oh, here we go. There we go. We are off. We are underway. A little bit of a delayed start. We are not going to yield for Speed Beast. Speed Beast is, well, went to drop into line, maybe rolled, lost a little bit of time. Yeah, we were ahead. We didn't have to yield, so I didn't. Oh, we stayed away from the rocks. We have got a good start. Speed Beast has lost some time elsewhere in this initial part. The Nissan flies through the air quite nicely in all of this. Fourth gear is not what I needed through there, though. This is the jump that catches trucks out. Speed Beast is in further trouble back there. I'm not quite sure what they're caught on, but I mean, the trick for me, the most part here is going to be don't roll off silly rocks. I mean, Speed Beast has actually caught up a little bit. Maybe took a bit more speed over some of these sections. It's always difficult when you're leading one of these races where it's so easy to get into a world of trouble. It's so easy to overshoot a jump, so easy to roll. You kind of want to be a little bit chill. You don't want to throw away a massive lead stupidly. But when you drive that little bit more chill, A, you can sometimes be prone to little mistakes, and B, you can get caught by somebody, well, funnily enough, the vehicle chasing you. They're going to be going for it. Not going to be that little bit more chill. My vehicle really struggled through there. I didn't get the line right. Oh, I've not got the line right there either. We are going to hit some rocks in the Nissan. Oh, we fell over exactly the same place we fell over bloody before. And we've hit another rock getting going. I didn't even know there was a rock out there, and our game is done, I think. Unless Speed Beast gets stuck on the waterfall, which judging by the nameplate has not. No, it's gone. I didn't know about the rock on the outside. The initial fall over was bad, but the second one was the real killer there. Yeah, it's all gone for the Nissan. That's disappointing. We had a good lead. We got a little bit screwed in some of the deeper water. I didn't really get the vehicle in the right place. We got slowed in the deeper water, but in the end that was all academic compared to the rocks that got the better of us. I think that's where the ground clearance of the Liberty Design truck maybe comes in a little bit more. I don't quite have the clearance to skim over that like some of the other vehicles do. Oh, I've not rolled there before. Oh, we're not going to go back on our wheels, are we? No, no, we're just going to bounce. Doesn't really matter. I was trying to go for a double on there without really needing to. It's kind of irrelevant. The Nissan, it did okay for a little while, but it is not enough. We'll take the Capri with us. We're across the line. God damn it. We are out. We put up a good fight. You know, we just couldn't quite get past the waterfall. Oh my Capri, let's go this way. Go this way. I think the 900 horsepower Rage truck is going to win that battle, funnily enough. So, we are on to the grand finale. We have two very similar vehicles, actually, in the forms of the Macan and the Mini. They even look, you know, pretty similar in terms of sort of overall body shape, etc. They are both rally raids at the end of the day. And we have the big Liberty Design truck. I feel like the Jeep, well, the Jeep is quick in some places, but liable to fall over in others. I think it's kind of the opposite to the other two. These are kind of narrow and tall in comparison to the Jeep in some ways, so they'll fall over on different bumps. We are off and underway. It's a clean getaway from everybody. Speed Beast decides not to take the alternate route, just ducks into line. Maybe not the worst idea as the two raid vehicles tangle in the air over the first jump, but they are clean enough through there. The Porsche leads the way. The Mini hits the inside rock, causes a little bit of trouble. I would imagine the Jeep might have the most power here, but it is the heaviest. It is quite a sort of big, cumbersome vehicle. First big jump, the Jeep lands on the roof of the Mini, but can't really do much with it. Impega's going for the lead of the race. Good move to the inside. Wonderful move for the lead of the race. Longbow tried to get sort of a cutback, didn't quite time it right, ended up across the dirt, has lost out in all of that. The Jeep's lost a little bit of ground. It got twisted in the air and fell back while Impega was there battling for the lead of the race. So the Mini will lead as we head towards the twisty sections. Here I'm going to overshoot this jump. Good jump from Impega. Kind of jumped across the corner a little bit, but made it work, landed in the water at the end of that one. The Macan's got a much better run down here, though. Launches it, and the Macan's fallen over. Oh, that's desperately unlucky. Here comes the Jeep. The power of that Jeep has brought it right back into contention. Longbow, incredibly unlucky with the Macan, has gone for a tumble. Mini's ran a little bit wide here. This is where the Jeep is really good. You can see how much better it is across the rocks. The Mini's fallen over across the air. The Jeep's bounced across the next section. Mini's landed on its wheels, carries on, gets an awkward bump though coming down here. Up the waterfall we go. This is where the Jeep is so fast. It gets really good run up the waterfall there. The Jeep bounces across the rocks. It's awkward. There's the Mini climbing. The Jeep's not quite so good across the rocks. Lost a little bit of time through all of that and struggled up this next section, which surprises me. I would have thought the power of that Jeep. Although the Mini's got stuck somewhere in the background. We've lost sight of the Mini. Oh, the Mini was gaining but just fell back at the end. The Jeep though will jump its way. And the Jeep takes victory in the river run. It is across the finish line. The Jeep will claim victory. What's gone on back here? Oh, the Mini's in trouble. Here comes the Porsche. The Porsche jumps over the Mini, but it's not quite going to do it. The drag race to the line. Mini takes second, just ahead of the McCann. McCann lands on the roof again. There's been a lot more attempts at aerial overtakes in this than we have seen. Just about anything else I think we've ever done. That was quite impressive. Well, there we go. The river, I mean, it's spectacular scenery for this one. A hell of a challenge as well. A lot more bumps and jumps. There are a couple of awkward places where you've really got to get things right. The Jeep absolutely flew. Really, the waterfall is where the Jeep, one of the areas that excels most. But the first part it's not great at, but once you get to the rocks in front of the first waterfall and the climb up the second one, that is where that vehicle is so strong. But it was a wonderful race. The two Rally Raid vehicles gave it a good fight early on until Rolls put them in trouble and they had a spectacular run to the finish line. So there we go. The Jeep, the Bertie Design thing, will claim victory in all of this. That definitely wouldn't make it up the waterfall. There we go. That is going to be it for this video. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.